first started dancing in undergrad, and that was literally my senior year of undergrad. It was after gymnastics, and I started because my best friend, she started the group on the University of Maryland's campus. It's called Dynamic, and she said, "Oh, you should join." So I said, "No, you just want me to flip," because again, I was a gymnast, and you just want me to be on stage and for competition, but I always wanted to dance. So I decided to, and I took my first class, and it was an absolute travesty. Like I didn't learn the choreo, I didn't finish the class. It was just bad. But from then I took it as an undertaking, like as a challenge. And now we are a decade later and at this space. So I actually do two things in science. The first is that I am finishing my PhD, that's in tumor biology, so effectively we study cancer research. I also adjunct, I also teach anatomy and physiology too at UDC, and I'm stepping away from the classroom next semester, but I'll be serving as a mentor teacher to people who are just finishing their graduate program and going to be teachers to help them out with their teaching process and style and how they effectively communicate.
Right, because you want to do equal volumes across, right?
Exactly. It worked. Like I said, that was an 8 I pulled out yesterday, so it worked.
He's a great person. He's fun for, he gets really excited about his research, comes in and chats with me about it all the time, so it's really good. I was like super impressed. Full-time as a graduate student, he teaches, and then he also does the choreography. He started showing us videos, and it was just like, how do you do this?
The difficulty in balancing both worlds is that coincidentally, oftentimes they require a lot at the very same moment. So we'll have a show, and I'll also have to be giving a data presentation the same week or the same day. And so naturally, it will require a lot of me at the very same moment. We're from two very different places.
People in grad school pretty much do grad school, and that's kind of the extent of what they do. They'll teach or do other things related to kind of this field, but not really, anything that extreme. I've known people who've done taken dance classes, but to be a choreographer, never.
My day starts typically around 5:30, and I'll just be waking up, and if there's anything I need to do for communications for dancers or for just emails to my professors, then I'll handle that. I'll go to lab most likely around 7. By 7:15, I'm in lab at that point. So this is my research day. When we switch to the afternoon, then we add dance to it. So if this is a Tuesday or a Thursday, I'll be teaching. It's an after-school program at Montgomery County middle schools that we teach. We service them by teaching dance lessons. What they're doing as a group. Cool, let's do that together. First 8, 6, 7, 8, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. So cross over there you go, good. And roll the shoulder, roll the thighs, good.
Well, it's great for our students, for our population at the school. It keeps them busy in a positive way, and dance, of course, is great. You could talk about culture and all that sort of thing through dance. But I believe they are performing this Thursday at the school, and I think they're performing it at another time. So he gets them ready for performances. I just admire him so much, being that he's in the arts like me, since I'm a musician, and music and dance a lot of times go hand in hand. But the fact that he can separate, I guess, as it were, his brain. He could be a scientist and he could be a dancer and do both so well.
The process is remarkably similar. So we in the investigative sciences, we really get creative latitude in how we're going to go about research. So there's a problem, and then it's up to you to figure out. That's the art behind science. But then it's a very logical step-by-step process of what you do. It's very similarly with artistry. So I figured out essentially the storyline that we're going to tell. That's figuring out the artistry behind it. But then we'll systematically figure out, choreograph, teach, learn, execute this piece, and then we'll move on to the next one. So it's actually very similar in my head, but the endpoints are just different.
So it's interesting when you talk to people, and it's not to even compare yourself, but it's like you get motivated by somebody else in a positive way to just achieve. The kids love him, I mean, and he really sets them up for excellence.
How do I come up with choreography? So I've been told this is a little bit of a strange process, but I do it while I'm driving. And it's not that I'm like moving and jumping around while I'm driving, it's not that. But while I'm driving, I'm visually focused on the road so that I mentally can focus on how I feel about the music, and that's how I choreograph. It's really hard for me actually to choreograph in front of a mirror because I will get fixated on what it looks like as opposed to how I feel about the music, and then it just comes from a different place. So I'll do these things called choreo drives where I drive, well, either to Charlotte to my best friend, or at this point I'll go to Cleveland to visit my brother. They're about 6 hours apart, so I get 12 hours to drive to and fro to choreograph. For New Renaissance, we are definitely a hodgepodge of individuals, but as long as they can be dedicated to like the task, man, we are as widespread as dedication will let us be.
A lot of companies are more geared towards like college age or just out of college, and that can be really weird socially when you're 10 plus years removed from college, and you're in a different place in your life. And then there's also the physical end of it where, my body is not 22 anymore. And sometimes, it's nice to have people who are sore along with you and understand, like, oh, my back, oh, my knee. And I mean, we push through it, and all of us, I think, in some ways are, I guess I'm trying to think of the right word for it. I almost feel like we're stronger dancers in some ways.
I am intimidated primarily when they get the routine like that, and I'm still like, what was that first part again? It amazes me how quickly some of the dancers get it, but I just stick at it. When I started with Darius, I did we started with Aftershock PC, and we did probably, oh my gosh, maybe about four shows, including Sensoria, which we're going to be doing with this dance company.
Sensoria is my baby. It is the event that we started last year, or I started last year. It is a mix of a visual arts gallery that is composed of local artists from wherever we go, and fuse that with an hour-long dance concert from my company this year, New Renaissance, and then you mix in some live painting, spoken word, contortion, and it's a whole artistic night.
He never stops. It's bigger than just, the dance company. It is making a difference in the community. He's trying to combine science into it as well in terms of making it about health. I think it's amazing.
If I'm dancing only, I'm like happy as a person, but I don't feel like I'm doing my brain or the planet any service, in what I know I could be doing. So I'm probably more equally split left brain, right brain. And if I'm only dancing and not doing science, I get agitated in a way. And if I am the reverse, I get agitated in another way. So I actually can't choose. This is Darius Gaiman, AKA Darius O'Neal. I am Dr. Renaissance.